I find it interesting that anytime there's a game that's promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or pushes a narrative or an agenda, or seems to have a lot of Marxist properties around it, and just these strange things that all seem to surround a game, that we have the vast majority of the establishment games media, journos, seemingly attaching themselves to the game and propping it up because it helps push their narrative forward. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And today we're going to talk about the downfall of Concord and the absolute coping and seething that is occurring right now on social media with the absolute meltdown from a number of these games journalists that just can't seem to cope with the fact that their baby Concord couldn't hack it. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down the amazing coping and seething from games journalists. We're gonna kick it off with the big guy himself, Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, who said, "Every time a live service game with no hook or strong word of mouth fails to penetrate an oversaturated market, the most annoying people on the planet will be there to blame diversity." Oh yeah, because we're so annoying blaming it on the actual reason as to why the game failed. Like, you can't tell me that Concord did not have strong word of mouth. You could not turn anywhere on social media without seeing its name somewhere. Now, typically it was in a negative light, obviously, because it wasn't getting anyone playing it. But still, you think any attention in this modern era of social media is good attention where people would want to look at it, be curious, like, oh, I haven't heard of this game. Everyone's talking about how no one's playing it. I wonder why. Let me look more into this and then learn about it and then think, oh, that's actually something I want to play, and then go play it. But that didn't happen because people watched it. They saw how it was injected with DEI. They saw how it was pushing an agenda and a narrative. And they saw that it's nothing that they wanted in their life. So they didn't play it. So yeah, you can go ahead and say, oh, there's no hook and nobody really talked about this game. But the advertising budget for this game was out of this world. This game was plastered everywhere. It just wasn't good, and it's something that I've been saying since before it even came out. The gamers wouldn't want to play this. But that doesn't stop most of social media from parroting exactly what Jason said, because everyone looks at him as the respected media guy that if they say what he says, then they're going to be with the cool kids. We got Ash Parrish from The Verge quote tweeting it saying, "Let's tap the F out of this sign, please," which was retweeted by Kotaku's Alyssa Mercante. They all parrot the same mentality, thinking that this is the reason why Concord failed. Because the people who are saying, oh, diversity's bad, that's why the bigots are winning and taking these games down. When in reality, the game was not good, and the injected diversity only hurt its chances. There was nothing new, no hook, nothing special about it. And then you have some of what would be the ugliest characters that I've seen in gaming history as the selling point of why people should play the game. You tell me, who the hell is going to take up that buying proposition? And as Parrish continued, how many smaller projects were killed in the cradle to throw money at this live shooter BS that didn't last longer than my last effing period? I think she thinks she's like really witty with talking about like really gross shit on social media, that this is something that is like, oh, that's funny because it's edgy, when in reality it's just gross. Like, what kind of tweet is that? To be clear, this ain't on the folks at Firewalk. This is a professional journalist, okay? Ain't. To be clear, this ain't on the folks at Firewalk. They did what they could. They did what they could. The professor that gave pronouns to a robot and made ambiguous looking characters that we couldn't tell if they're a boy or a girl. They did what they could. It's just infuriating that folks were yelling at Sony when it announced its pivot to games as a service a couple years ago, like, I don't know about this, chimp. But here we are. And then, for whatever reason, she felt the need to clarify about her period and follow that up with, For social media purposes, no, my periods are not 3 weeks long, but they definitely feel like it sometimes. I feel like this is like the left can't meme. The left doesn't understand comedy. This is like exhibit A for that. This is like embarrassing trying to be funny and using something gross and thinking that you're being witty when in reality, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then we have illustrator Aurora Hack being retweeted by Kotaku's Caroline Petit. Absolutely hate knowing this will undoubtedly come with the swing of the axe on people's jobs, all to protect a handful of money people who force bad decisions and poor market reads onto a dev team who knew better. Okay, so what exactly did Sony force onto Firewalk Studios, who literally was creating a team shooter game, and that's why they bought Firewalk Studios? Sony did not go to Firewalk and say, oh, whatever you guys are doing, nope, change that up. We don't want you to do that anymore. You're going to do this because that's where we make money. No, that's why Sony bought Firewalk, is because that's the game they're working on. And it fit and aligned with their theory of that's where the money was going to be. So don't give me that the devs were forced into this when this is exactly what they wanted to do. And we all knew it was going to fail. GameSpot managing editor Tamar Hussein. This game was doomed to failure. Unfortunately, Sony is mort. I think he means more. Sony is more interested in the business model more than the game, and the timing on it couldn't have been worse. It's a real shame since it was clearly well made. No, here's the thing. It was not well made. It had the ugliest characters in the world. The gameplay was very basic and generic, where you can play any of these other hero shooters that were a better experience for free. Everything about this game screamed stay away, yet you are here trying to defend it. IGN editor Matt Kim, 8 years to make, a week and a half to succeed. Great system we've got. I don't know, I'd kind of pin that more on the fault of Firewalk Studios for spending 8 years to make the most generic, basic hero shooter game with the ugliest characters you could have, and then think that this is going to be successful when all along the ride up to release I was saying this is going to fail for the exact reasons that it failed. Then we have Forbes writer Paul Tassi, who has been a big fan of Concord on social media and is trying his best to cope with this one. Posted earlier, PlayStation's Concord appears to have made $1 million. And this is before the news came out that Concord was being shut down. So he's got to eat his words here. This is a journalist that was trying to push a narrative so that more people would buy the game. Then we have the former writer Hayes Madsen from Kotaku saying, can't think of a single time we've seen a game taken down this close to launch. And God, is it depressing for the entire state of video games right now. Feel awful for this team. They are in solidarity, oh, I wish we could just make it work and people would buy it, sticking with this team because the team echoes the same exact values that you do. It's not that the game is good. It's not that there's anything groundbreaking about it. It's not that the characters have anything special going on with them. It's literally because their ideologies align with yours that you feel like these people should continue to have jobs. And that's not how a business operates. Then we have to talk about our good friend Nick Calandra over at Second Wind, who chimed in saying, like the gameplay of Concord, thought that might be enough to carry it forward, but was not expecting the launch to be this bad. Hope the studio doesn't get gutted, as there's clearly talent there. This coming from a guy that, as Frost claimed to be, someone that accepted backroom deals to give good reviews on games, is now trying to tell everyone why he felt like the game was good. Yeah, that's someone you should trust. Then we gotta move on to Ryan Easby, the freelance writer that said Grums should never feel safe. Of course this guy has something to talk about with Concord. Parroting Jason Schreier, he says, oh my god. This is wild. Has this ever happened before? 8 years. 8 years! Like, these people cannot grasp the concept that time does not equal a good game. A good game is based off of a good idea, a good experience, good follow-through, good creation of that experience and idea that they were supposed to follow through on. Not, hey, there's a game over there doing this and it's making a lot of money. Let's do that same exact thing and try to take some of that pie. And then we have a journalist from IGN named Stella saying, My heart breaks for Firewalk Studios. The fact it wasn't even given at least 6 months to properly sit through a season and adjust as a proper live service game is insane to me. It's very clear PlayStation didn't believe in this from the start and failed to support it, which might be the dumbest take I've seen from anyone talking about Concord, which is impressive because I've seen some really stupid takes out there. But PlayStation, a company that purchased a studio working on this game for the sole purpose of putting this game out there and using over $200 million worth of investments into it, is now being claimed by Stella, a quote-unquote journalist at IGN, that PlayStation did not believe in this from the start. I couldn't make that up if I tried. And finally, moving on to Daniel Ahmad, the director in research and insights at Nico Partners, and some would consider him an industry insider. He quote-tweeted Chris Siv saying, "You surprised? People like you who push lefty woke ideologies have a hand in this as well." And Daniel replied, "Do these people not understand how delusional they sound? Like, they're so caught up in their own world, they don't understand that they're pushing forward an agenda-based narrative instead of an actual enjoyable experience in a game. And ultimately, that's the problem. They are not gamers. They don't love and have a passion for these games. They have ideologies that they're pushing, and they see those ideologies in the games that they're pushing. And that's the problem. And they can't see it. And it blows my mind that they can't step outside of themselves for 1 second and be like, holy crap, that game is actually shit. It's just because it pushes my ideologies that I want to be successful. Because if it's successful, that means the world will be more like that game, and then everyone will be happy and we can just stop being so, oh, why can't everyone just get along? Anyways, that's just a short snippet of what I found on Twitter so far of Journos melting down about Concord and not being able to comprehend how this game failed so quickly. Less than 2 weeks, more than $200 million, and the game has been taken offline by Sony. And you gotta tell me that, oh, it's the gamers that are the problem? No, the gamers are paying with their money from their wallets. They are voting with those wallets and saying, we are not buying this woke DEI garbage. Make us a game we want to play, like Black Myth Wukong, and guess what's gonna happen? Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. If you appreciate what I'm doing, please consider hitting that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash,